Hi, and welcome to another episode of All Things Considered. Tonight I'm talking to you about the drug problem in Seattle. And I'm talking to you because this article came up and I was very kind of interested in what it had to say. So I'm going to read some, then I'm going to comment on it and give you my input. Vet tech believes addicts are using their pets to get pills. It says most of the attention is focused on the human toll when we think about the drug epidemic in Seattle. But a local vet technician wants people to know how the opioid crisis is affecting animals and people who care for them. Joan, not her real name, has been a vet tech for 15 years. She says the draw is to the drugs they have, which are the same quality as those in a human hospital. I have worked at numerous large 24-hour specialty and emergency hospitals in the area, everywhere from the north of Seattle to the south, and I've worked in numerous specialty practices. We use everything in a veterinary medicine that you would use in human medicine, and then some. She continues, so for pain control, we're using drugs like fentanyl, hydromorphine, codeine, tramadol, oxymorphone. It's a wide variety of different kinds of medications that we have access to. And she believes that a lot of drug addicts are using animals. And see, that bugs me, especially when you got people that are homeless. Oh, I'm homeless, but I don't want to be alone, so I got myself a pet, and I can't really take care of the dog or whatever, but I want to have the dog with me because I'm lonely. And it's kind of cruelty to animals if you think about it. I mean, where I live at, our apartments are kind of tiny. I have a 384 square foot studio apartment with a kitchen and a bath. And there was a gentleman down the hall that had a dog. I mean, this dog was huge. The dog was almost as big as the apartment. And he said, well, that's the biggest apartment, that's the biggest dog house that he's ever had. And it's like, no, it's an apartment. It's not supposed to be a dog house. She says working in animal care facilities is proving to be dangerous. My most recent experiences have been in Lakewood, where we have had break-ins in the middle of the night. We had a doctor chase away a masked man who had come into the hospital around 3 a.m. and was rifling through our storage area looking for the large safe we had controlled substances in, but didn't make it that far into the hospital before he was caught. Jones says that a local vet clinic that she worked in was near a homeless encampment. She would see people break into cars, harass staff, and try to break into the hospital. She says the animal clinics are easy pickings, something she never considered when she chose her profession. Technicians are at risk because they have access to the safe and the medications. Well, I feel for you, I really do. She also believes there are situations where people are supposedly hurting their pets to get drugs. The King County Regional Animal Control says there haven't been any reports filed against people abusing their dogs for their pain medications. However, according to her, that's not a surprise with patients who can't walk. Or that's not surprise with patients who can't talk. The animals can't talk. In the instances that I have dealt with, those types of cases, most of what we are dealing with is speculation, Jones said. It's incredibly difficult to say that our dog broke its leg because you did this. It's incredibly difficult. I need to slow down. I have dyslexia a little bit, so when I read fast, I tend to read things funny. It is incredibly difficult to say that your dog broke its leg because you did this. But when we have patients who are presented over and over again with the same injury or a new injury, or if they come in for non-specific pain, and they're looking for pain medications. It's just like humans who are presenting over and over to emergency services at hospitals who are seeking drugs. She gave an example of a clinic she was working at in Capitol Hill, where a pet owner who she believed to be homeless came in high, brought his dog in for care, claiming they were hit by a dog. That the person and the dog were hit by a car. Since she did not have money and the dog was clearly in pain, the vet issued the pain medications. Since he did not have money, was pain medications. 3 days later, the dog arrived to the clinic deceased, but the pharmacy requested the same prescription later that same day. 3 days later, the dog arrived to the clinic deceased, but the pharmacy requested the same prescription later that same day. Weird. It's pretty clear to us that this man had, instead of giving the pain medication to his dog that had just been hit by a car, he was taking it for himself, and now that his dog was dead, and he was now trying to get it refilled, she described. Joan has also seen more cases of dogs eating human waste that has traces of heroin, meth, and marijuana. They're also potentially exposed to communicable diseases. She is coming forward in a bid to inform people about the effects of Seattle's drug epidemic it is having on pets. Now it says that law enforcement are weighing in. Finally! I don't like the police overstepping their bounds. I don't like the police misusing their power, but I like it when police do their job. The job that they're paid to do, and they're allowed to do that job. Finally! King County Sergeant Ryan Abbott confirmed that businesses like vet clinics are targets for addicts. They're trying to find a place that they can hopefully get these drugs because the hospitals are stopping them. And if they can break in and steal them and not have to do a robbery, then they're just trying to find the easiest route. Abbott recommends vet clinics get a good security system, upgrade their safes, and only give keys or access codes to a limited number of employees. Only give them to employees you can trust, man. If you don't trust a person with your life, and I can name only a few people on one hand that I trust with my life. My mother, my dad who's deceased, so that's mom and dad, my sister, Allison, and the grandkids, and that's it. Well, my son and her family. Me and her family don't really get along, but I trust them. I do, because they're that kind of people. They may not like me very much because I didn't raise my son due to my son's mother not wanting me to, but her family, they're that trustworthy. I trust them with my life, even though we don't get along. Candace Joy, the CEO of the Washington State Veterinarian Medical Association, says they don't have data as to the frequency of these break-ins around the Puget Sound region. We hear anecdotal stories periodically, including the recent break-in in Maple Valley, but veterinarians don't often tell the WSVMA when it happens, said Joy. Joy confirmed that WSVMA has also heard stories that some pets appear to have been injured on purpose. That's like, yeah, okay, I heard it, but how real is the story really? It's like you hear the story, but you don't really think it's credible. It's like, oh, in that movie National Treasure, when Harvey Keitel's character, the FBI director, is talking to some of the FBI agents. He says he said something about the break-in, and a guy said, well, we got a tip earlier in the day, but we didn't find it credible because, and he says, oh, well, how about now? Because the Declaration of Independence had been stolen. But they didn't take the threat credible because it was from Ben Gates and the Gates family, the conspiracy kooks. So they didn't take it credible. Well, Harvey Keitel says, well, what about now? These stories about dogs getting hurt by their owners just so the owners can get drugs, you didn't believe the stories. What about now? Joy confirms that the WSVMA is working within the industry to educate vets to increase necessary tools to handle such situations and to keep their staff and patients safe. And there is a concern that these incidents will increase as access to opioids become more restricted. According to a piece published by the West Virginia School of Public Health about the hazards of veterinary medicine, there hasn't been a large-scale study of veterinary substance misuse conducted in the United States. Well, because under normal circumstances, there's no need. Under normal circumstances, there's no need to study this. But we're getting to the point where these are not normal circumstances times. And there's large cities where lots of homeless have pets. And if they're hooked on drugs and they can't get drugs the normal way through the hospital, they're probably going to go and try to get drugs through the veterinarian clinics. Just saying. Anyway, I'm going to cut you off on that. I just wanted to speak about the homelessness, the pets that the homeless have, the drug use that the homeless are using the pets to get their drugs from. So anyway, I'm going to let you go on that note. This has been a video that I've been kind of wanting to talk about for a little while, and I just now got around to doing that. If you have an idea that can make for a good video, please post the idea in the comments below. If you like the video, please like and subscribe it. Subscribe to my channel. If you don't like the video, tell me, put I don't like it, it sounds like crap, you're annoying, or whatever the case may be. Whether you have a good idea or whether the idea is completely stupid, still put it in the comments. It may not be as stupid as it appears. Anyway, like and subscribe. This is an us presentation. You and I can make the world a better place. This has been All Things Considered. Have a good night, Seattle, and all points beyond.